Good morning, everyone. In today's class, I would like to discuss you regarding the medication administration. So, coming to this medication administration, if you see, first of all, you want to know what is a medication. So, medication means nothing but it is a chemical substance which is given to the diseased person. So, whenever a person is having any kind of disease, mainly we are giving this medication to cure the person or to treatment, to give the treatment or to relieve the symptom or to prevent the disease. So, a medication is nothing but it is a chemical substance which is mainly given to the sick patient or any kind of diseased patient. So what it will do, it will cure the person from disease, either it will relieve the person from the particular symptom, or even it has the capacity to prevent the disease. Coming to the pharmacology, if you see, it is the study of drugs on the living organism. So the chemical substance, nothing but the drug which we are taking, the medication which we are taking, what is it effect on our body, we'll see in this pharmacology. So coming to the prescription means nothing but the medicine which was written by the doctor to take. So it was nothing but the written direction. So mainly whenever you are approaching a doctor, whenever you are approaching a doctor for any kind of sickness, by assessing your condition, by seeing your signs and symptoms, they will give you some type of medications. Nothing but they will write you in the treatment part. So you can see the doctor will write what type of medication you have to take in this form. So they will take like BD, or they will write OD, they will write TID, they will write the drug name, the amount of time. These are the things which will indicate the time when you were supposed to take the medication. So this one is called as prescription. Coming to the purpose of medication, so why we have to give the medication means mainly we have three types of purposes: diagnostic purpose, we have prophylaxis, and we have therapeutic purpose. So what is this diagnostic purpose means? Mainly to identify any kind of disease, what we are giving them the medication. And nextly, as a prophylaxis, before the disease is coming to the patient, before you are prone to get that particular disease, what we are giving, we are taking the medication. For example, mainly heparin. So mainly we are giving the heparin to prevent the thrombosis in the patients who are lying on the bed for a long period of time. If you want to prevent any kind of disease before the disease is occurring to the client or the patient, what we are giving them the antibiotics. This is just an example here. And nextly, we are giving for the therapeutic purpose. What is this therapeutic purpose means? Mainly to cure the disease. We are giving the medication to cure the disease. So what are the uses of drugs now? Mainly prevention, diagnosis, and suppression. So what is this prevention means? Before the disease occurring, so it is given as a prophylaxis. What is the diagnosis means? For example, if you take the disease tuberculosis, so they will do a test called Montague's test. So what they will do, they will inject some amount of medicine on your epidermis. So there you can see the reaction. So based on the reaction, you can diagnose the particular disease. And nextly, other example is like radio contract dye. And nextly, suppression means mainly it suppresses the signs and symptoms. So whenever the signs and symptoms are being suppressed, automatically the disease process also will be getting suppressed. So for example, for this suppression, we are giving anti-cancer, antiviral drugs. So these are some of the uses of drugs. And nextly, for the treatment purpose, and for the curative purpose, and for the enhancements of the aspects of the health. So what we are giving to enhance, mainly to improve the health of the person, we are giving vitamins and minerals. So these are also some of the medications. So this is the uses. Coming to the legal aspects of medication, so whenever you are dealing with the medication or drugs, you should follow the legal aspects. So whenever you are using any kind of drugs which are narcotic, so they should be used very cautiously, and you are very responsible. For example, if you are gone to these clinical sections, if you want to use any kind of narcotic drug, or previously even the tramadol is also in the narcotic drugs only, because it is causing some narcotic effect. So before you use, or if you use any kind of drugs such as morphine or cocaine type of drugs or pethidine type of drugs, so you have to use those medication in the prescription only. So if any doctor is prescribing, then only you have to use it with the proper signature. You have to get a signature from the anesthetist, doctor who is working in your hospital, then only you have to administer the medication. So these are some of the legal aspects, as they deal very seriously with the health of the client. and as they have the narcotic effect, these are definitely given by the senior nurses, and you have to follow all the legal aspects of the medication. You have to follow all the 6 rights: right patient, right medication, right time, right route, and right documentation. So all these are some of the serious medications that were involved in the legal aspects of medication. You, whenever you are following all the steps, then only you can, you are following all the legal aspects of the medication. So you have to see which drug is poisonous, which drug is non-poisonous. You have to observe the written prescription. Based on the written prescription, you have to give drug to the patient. You should not cross over the drug. That's why you should identify the right patient. So if you give the medication knowingly or unknowingly, without any kind of written order, if you are giving any harmful drug to the patient, you are subjected to be in risk, and you are subjected to be in legal action. And nextly, any kind of overdose, so these errors must be affected. So if you see, you have to check the right dose. That's what we have seen, the right amount of dose what we have to give. The doctor is prescribing you 300 mg, you have to give the medication only 300 mg. You should not exceed it. If you are exceeding it more than 300 mg, then it will be a crime, because it can cause potential effect to the patient. So you are very responsible for the dose also, and the nurse should bear that all the substances are poisons. Means whenever you are giving any chemical substance, even though if you give the medication which is helpful for the patient, if you are giving the medication in the right amount only, then only the medication will work properly. If you are giving more than the required amount, automatically the curative aspect will become poison aspect, and it will cause lot of potential effect on the patient. It will create lot of contra indicated effects. So you have to check, the proper dose. Because if you give, for example, if you take paracetamol daily for a 1 month or 2 month period of time, if you are taking excess amount of paracetamol, it will affect your liver. So you have to take the medication very cautiously. If you are a nurse, you have to give your patient the medication very cautiously. You should, the right dose differentiate poison from the remedy. As I am saying, if you are giving right dose, the treatment aspect will work in a curative aspect. If you are not giving in the right dose, if you are exceeding the dose, again this dose will become a poison dose. Coming to the drug nomenclature. So what is this drug nomenclature? Means for every drug there are different types of names. We have chemical name, we have generic name, and we have official name, or you can also call it as brand name. So what is this chemical name? Means the chemical name is the organic name. For example, if you take the paracetamol, the chemical which is present in the paracetamol is N4-hydroxyphenol. So you will call it as estamide. So the chemical name for the paracetamol is now N4-hydroxyphenyl, or simply you can call it as estamide. If you see the generic name, the company who is manufacturing it, or the company who is delivering it, so before the official name is being announced, the company will name it. So based on the manufacturer policy, based on the agreement which is done with the WHO, they will form a chemical name. So the name which is given by the company, it should be derived from the chemical name. So for example, if you take this paracetamol, what is the name of the paracetamol here? Chemical name N-hydroxyphenyl acetamide. So here the name is estamide. So what they have taken, they have given the generic name as acetaminophen. Nextly, we have the official name or the brand name. So here the World Health Organization and our country, they will decide what name has to be given to the particular drug, and the brand name can be established, and the brand name will be circulating in the market. The chemical name will be different, the generic name will be different, and the brand name will be different. So this brand name will be known by everyone, and the generic name will be known by the company persons. And if you see the chemical name, they will be known by only the makers, the manufacturers, or the chemists who are performing over there. Coming to the classification of medication, if you see, there are different types of classifications of medications. So based on the system, the medication which is acting on the system, they are classified, they have classified. For example, the body system. So here the body system is mainly the cardiovascular medications and nervous system medications, different types of medication. If you see the therapeutic uses of medicine, so here based on the therapeutic usage of medicine, they have classified into antihypertensiveness and neuroepileptics. And if you see as a kind of diseased medicine. So the medicine which is used for diseases, so you can classify it as anti-cancer drugs or anti-malaria drugs or anti-helminthic. See here, the classification is mainly done based upon the action. So if they based on the system, based on their usage, and based on the type of medicine that they are using, particularly in such a way they will classify the medication. So here if you see, based on the action, if you see, if they are blocking any kind of for example beta adrenergic blockers, so the name itself is saying that drug is mainly interacting with this beta adrenergic system and it is blocking those beta adrenergics. And nextly, the overall effect of the medication. So here, what is the overall effect of the medication? So how they will classify means, so to which type of medicine, which type of body system the medication is being used. If it is used for the digestive system, they will keep that medication under the digestive system medicine. So what is the type of therapeutic use of the medicine? So here cardiovascular system is, here the cardiac medicine will come in play here, and if it is nervous system, the nervous system medications will come and play here. So here in cardiovascular system, if they are using it for hypertension, they will call it as anti-hypertensive. So because in cardiovascular system we have lots of diseases, it's not only anti-hypertensives, we have anti-arrhythmic drugs, and also we have thromboembolytics. So in such a way, based on the action, based on the therapeutic uses, here the antihypertensives, they belong to the cardiovascular system, but their function is mainly to reduce the increased amount of BP. And here neuroepileptic means they belong to the nervous system family, but here they want to prevent these neuron disorders. So again, based on the disease, if it is used for the malaria, so they will call it as anti-malarial drug. If it is used for the cancer, they will call it as anti-cancerous drugs. So in such a way, the drugs can be classified based on the disease and based on the action, what kind of function they are doing, what kind of action they are implementing on the body, they will classify, and based on their overall effect. If they are sedatives, the morphine, all these things, they will go under sedative activity. Anti-anxiety drugs, so what they will reduce, they will reduce the anxiety levels of the body. So what is their overall action? Based on that, again they will keep in the classification. So this is how they will classify the drugs. So coming to the storage of medications, so here whenever you are storing the medications, so they must be stored in the pharmacy. So from pharmacy, the medication will come to the nursing units. So here, once the medications are delivered from the pharmacy to the nursing units, it is the responsibility of the nurse to store them properly. So all medication, they must be stored in cool and dry places. So what we'll have, usually we have cabinets, medicines and cart fridges. So you can see here how a nurse is handling all the medications. So all medication, they are stored in the fridge. If they have to maintain certain temperature like minus degree Celsius or 0 degree Celsius or at room temperature, you will keep in room temperature. If you have to keep it like 10 degree Celsius or 3 degree Celsius, you will use the fridge. So usually what we'll use cabinets, we will use medicine carts, and we will use fridges. So these are the cabinets, this is the medicine cart, and this is the fridge, as you can see here. So this is how the medications are being stored. Coming to the principles of medication administration. So here if you see, mainly in our India we have like 5 rights, as we have discussed. So we have like right route, right drug, right patient, right medication, right dose, and right documentation. So mainly we are following the 6 rules. So we have additional rules also, we'll see one by one. So whenever you are giving medications, you have to keep these 3 things in your mind. So what we have to check means, check when obtaining the container of the medication. So we have to check the container. Check when removing the medicine from the container. So whenever you are removing the medicine from the container, see, she is checking the container here, she is checking the medication which is being removed. And check when replacing the container. So whenever you are replacing the container, you should check all the medicine. So this is what you have to check every time whenever you are going for this medication administration. So what are the rights of medication administration means? First of all, right patient. So here identification of right patient is very important. So whenever you are identifying the right patient, then only you can give the treatment to the person. So if you are identifying the patient correctly, the correct treatment will be gone to the correct patient. So you have to check, you have to ask their name. So you have to ask their full name. Even the surnames can be changed. So for example, if you see, in a same ward there are more chances of the patient having the same name. So there will be one Vijay or there will be two Vijays. So most probably their surnames will be different. So if the surname is same for the both, again you have to check the age, you have to check the diagnosis part. So based on, you have to counter check the treatment, medication, prescription, then only you have to give the patient treatment, mainly the right patient, the identification of right patient. So every patient will have a bracelet, so their name will be labeled on the patient, and in some advanced hospital even the barcode is present. So whenever you are giving medication, so you will scan the barcode and you will identify the patient, then only you will confirm that the patient is right patient and you have to give treatment to the patient. As I'm saying, so you should be aware of the same similar first surnames, mainly to prevent the error in administrating. So if the two Vijay's are there in one ward, if the nurse has confused with the names, there are more chances of giving medications vice versa. Instead of giving medication to first Vijay, she might give the medicine to second Vijay, so which is causing a lot of problems over there. So what we have to do, you have to identify the right patient, you have to check the surnames. If the surnames are also same, you have to clearly identify with the badge, with the diagnosis, with the treatment part. We have to ask the patient regarding the disease condition, what are all the symptoms, then you have to differentiate, then only you have to administer the medication to the patient. Nextly, right medication. So whenever you are giving medication to the patient, so it is very important to identify the right medication. So you have to compare the name on the medication chart, you have to check the medication order once again, at least you have to check for 3 times. You have to check the label of the medication. Whenever you are removing from the storage unit, you have to check all these 3 checks which I have discussed. So you have to compare the medication label and you have to compare the treatment chart. You have to compare the treatment chart which is there in the patient name tag. So all these things you have to check, then only you have to give the medication to the patient. So if you are not giving right medication to the patient, again there are more chances of complications and the patient may end up in the death also. Right time. So you have to give the medication in right time. So if the order is like stat order, so you have to give immediately. So start means immediately you have to give the medicine to the patient. And if they are writing like OD AM, so before breakfast on empty stomach you have to give the medication to the patient. For example, if you take the drug Pantok, so it is mainly given for the gastric effect. So here if you see this pan, generally the tablet pan, it has to be taken before the breakfast on empty stomach. So if you are giving it after the breakfast, there is no proper use. And for also, if you see drugs such as antibiotics or anti-malarial drugs, so if you want to achieve the cure or you want to prevent the resistance, so these drugs, they must be taken before the breakfast on the empty stomach. So if you are not giving the medication on the correct time, there are more chances of reduction of the activity of the drug. And also you have to identify the intervals. And for example, if you take the PCM, so there must be time gap of at least 8 hours from one administration to the next administration. So before you want to give the medication, in order to prevent the overdoses to the patient, you have to check proper timing. Nextly, right dose. So whenever you are giving treatment, right dose must be given to the right patient. You have to give right dose. You have to measure. If the doctor is prescribing you 300 mg, you have to give only 300 mg. If the doctor is prescribing you 150 mg, you have to give only 150 mg. It's not like whatever it is available, you should not give in such a way. So if you give larger volume than the prescribed volume, so here the remedy, why we will give the treatment is mainly given to the patient to cure from the disease. So here if you are giving overdose instead of remedy, the treatment will become poison. What will become? It will become the poison. So it is very important, as a nurse you should identify what is the right dosage. You should cross check the prescription, then only you have to give the order to the pharmacy, or then only you have to administer to the patient. If you receive the wrong medication from the pharmacy, again it is your responsibility to check, to cross check before you are giving medication to the patient. You have to carefully calculate in case of IV medications, at what amount of time, what amount of medication has to be given to the patient, everything will be there in the prescription chart. So you have to calculate properly, then only you have to administer the medication. Nextly, right route. So what is this right route means? Mainly whenever you are giving the medication, if the doctor is advising you to give per oral, you have to give it per oral. If they are advising to give it intravenously, you have to give it intravenously. If they are advising you to give them medication intramuscularly, you have to give it muscularly. So here, based on the prescription, you have to go. You should not decide your route. You should always consult the doctor before giving the medication. So there are some medications which should not be given through the IM, or there are some medications which not be given through the IV, medications which cannot be given through the oral route. So you have to check the route properly, then only you have to administer the medication. And lastly, we have right documentation. So if you see the right documentation, so this is very important. So this is useful for your legal aspect also. Whenever a patient says that the medication is not given to him, so if they say, if they blame you in case you have given wrong medication, you can show them the documentation, and this documentation will serve you in the legal aspects. If they keep any case, or if they do go for any kind of legal things, the documentation which you are showing will become very crucial, and you will be out of the situation if you have proper documentation. And other types of things that we have is like right to information and drug education. Mainly to the patient you have to give this, and patient also has the right to refuse the medication in spite of explanation, and you have to go for assessment, and you have to go for right evaluation. So these are all some of the rights of medication administration. Mainly we have 6 rights. The 6 rights are right patient, right medication, right time, right dose, right route, and right documentation. So these are the 6 main things that you have to remember in your rights of drug administration. Coming to the medication order, so how the medication order will look like means, mainly the medication order will consist of 7 essential parts. So in before giving the medication, you have to check what is the full name of the patient, what is the drug date and time. So the date and time will help you whether the medication is prescribed yesterday or today, or when it has been prescribed, and what is the drug name, dosage will be there, route of administration will be there, and at what time and what frequency the drug has to be administered, and the signature of the physician. So this was the medication order. This I would like to end this session here. So these are the rights of drug administration. In next class we'll see what is the medication order and what are the different types of orders that will be present, and in coming classes I will say what are the routes of drug administration. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, please like, share and subscribe the channel.